Okay, I think we live. What is going on, y'all? It's your boy POLK on 863 Seminole TV. Y'all already know. We give y'all a little bit of time tonight. As you can see, still here. Having a great time. Excuse me. But I will say this. Today was a good day of football, y'all. So we're going to review what happened today, man. We'll talk a little bit of broad college football today, man, because, hey, let's see, what we got to see, obviously, the big game everybody was so hyped to watch. TCU, Colorado. We're going to definitely talk about that one, but we're going to wait a little bit before I talk about that one. We got to see, I thought South Carolina and North Carolina was an interesting game. It was a very interesting game. What other games was there, man? A lot of crazy quarterback play today. I mean, Shadur, Penix, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Man, a lot of quarterbacks put up a lot of big numbers today, man. I don't know, man. That Heisman might be a tough one for whoever's going for it. I mean, I know we all love JT, but he's going to have to put up some numbers for that Heisman, and I don't know. I don't know if he's going to put up them type of numbers with the way some of these other guys are playing right now. I thought Georgia looked a little suspect in the first half of their game against UT Martin of all teams. I don't know what you take from that. You feel me? That could be, that's probably nothing. First game, whatever. But, I mean, I don't know. We're in the Carson Beck era now. So, I don't know what that's going to mean for Georgia, y'all. I don't know what that's going to mean for Georgia. Bama didn't start off too hot against Middle Tennessee State. So, that was interesting. But we know Bama has a quarterback issue. And we'll see how that ends up playing out for them. What am I missing? There's Ohio State, y'all, struggles with Indiana. And they obviously are missing C.J. Stroud, man. So I don't know what's going to go on with Ohio State. Marvin Harrison didn't do much of anything, but I think that has a lot to do with the quarterback position, man. Shout out to Jeff for the $10. He says, well, thank God I still got the ABC tomorrow night because I'm pissed right now. I have Spectrum and negotiating with Disney, and Disney took ESPN off the air, and I'm not happy right now. A lot of people are not happy with that, Jeff. I appreciate the $10 donation. And, yeah, a lot of people are going through the same thing you're going through, my man. But, yeah, man, Ohio State struggles. And North Carolina looked like a solid team. Amari Gaynor had a big game. Shout out to Amari Gaynor. Shout out to North Carolina. And shout out to the coach, Dion Primetime Sanders. Look, let's talk a little bit about that game. We can talk a lot about that game. I got to give Colorado all the credit in the world. So I want to start off with that. Because I got a lot to say about TCU too. But I want to give Colorado their flowers. Give them their credit. Talk about how surprised I was. I was extremely surprised how well the team played, gelled offensively. Like, I was actually really surprised about that. I was really surprised. Again, you remember, like, my main criticism of that team is fairly simple. I didn't think you could put 60, 80, whatever the number was that day. I didn't think you could do 50 new players on a roster in 6 months and get on the football field and actually, have a functional football team. But they indeed had that offensively. Offensively, man, the team looks good. Shadur Sanders controlled the game. First of all, let's give credit. The offensive coordinator, man, I don't know. I don't know how long he's going to be there, but he was dialing up some pretty good stuff. He was playing to the numbers. I thought he did some really good stuff. And again, I'm going to get to TCU after this, but I got to give Colorado the credit. I thought the team looked, on offense, they looked good, man. They at least had a plan, had a game plan, knew what they was doing, and Shadur commanded the offense. He made quick decisions. He knew what he was doing. Travis Hunter, look, it's the real deal, y'all. Whether y'all like that man or not, that man's the real deal. Offense, and I think he's a receiver. I thought the interception he got, good play by him. Terrible freaking throw. But again, we're gonna get to TCU. But offense and defense, man, Travis Hunter was out there doing his thing. Look, Travis Hunter's the real deal, right? Travis Hunter's the real deal. And Shadur's the real deal. 500 yards, bro. 500 yards. So as far as I'm concerned, offensively, you got to be proud of that team. You got to be, again, I'm low-key shocked at how well offensively they looked. Defensively, they got work to do. They have little to no pass rush. They're weak up front. Period. This is gonna tie into TCU and Kendall Briles, the idiot that he is. TCU could have won the game fairly easy, in my opinion, had they just dedicated themselves to running the football, and they refused to do so. At one point, TCU was averaging 10 yards a carry, and for whatever reason, just refused to run the ball. That's Kendall Briles for you. So defensively, they have work to do. They have work to do. Again, Travis Hunter, he did have an interception. And again, not taking anything away from Hunter, but holy cow, was that a piss poor throw. First of all, the guy's wheeling out the backfield. Okay, he's got nothing but green grass and end zone in front of him. So that pass should have been thrown to that back pylon, or at least over the shoulder to where you're going to catch it in stride and just go to, and he short arms it, and Travis Hunter jumps it. Great play by Travis Hunter to jump the pass, but come on, man. They got to do a better pass than that. TCU's quarterback, that Morris kid, thought he was absolutely buns. He was absolutely trash, in my opinion. That dude was not, Shadur definitely outplayed him way better than that kid was. But Colorado's got to get the defense together because, but you may see it, right? You may see it for the rest of the year. Colorado's just in a bunch of shootouts because they have no pass rush. Y'all's favorite defensive end, number 9, McClendon, he was out there. I don't think he made any impact on. I don't know if he recorded forget a sack. I don't think he recorded a statistic on the game. He was really a no-show. Amarion Cooper had a couple plays, so shout out to Amarion Cooper. They used Bishop Thomas as a fullback, which was cool to see. No Travis J. No Brandon Gant from what I saw. No Cromartie McClain from what I saw. But defensively, Colorado's a work defensively. Now that's a Charles Kelly defense, so take that for what it's worth. Offensively, though, they seem to be already clicking. It's going to be interesting to see how they continue to progress going forward. The one thing I'll say about Colorado that I would worry if I was Colorado in this sense. I don't know if Hunter can play 100 snaps a game, bro. That's crazy. Me personally, at this point, maybe if Cromartie McClain can come along, you can give Travis Hunter strictly to the offense. But I don't know. I don't know if you can play this kid 100 snaps. It's a great story. It's awesome to see. He is a beast. Don't get it twisted, man. Travis Hunter's the real deal. He is that guy. He is a generational type talent. But I don't know if the kid can play 100 snaps a game. You're talking about a kid being blown out by game 5, right? So I don't know. They might need to limit that in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. Me personally, I would really limit his defensive snaps to to maybe some obvious passing downs or whatever. I don't know. Um, but again, there's that. Let's get to TCU, man, because I got a lot to talk about with TCU too. Because TCU's the team that played like they were the ones that just added 60 new players to their team. They added 60 new transfers. TCU played like a team that had never played before. It was ridiculous to watch. First, TCU got to the red zone twice and threw 2 interceptions and lost by 3 points. TCU at one point, again, was averaging 10 yards per carry and Kendall Brown just decided, I'm just going to throw the ball. No points. They missed the field goal, too, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, as much as credit as Colorado deserves, man, and I give Colorado a ton of credit. I give Coach Prime a ton of credit because I didn't see them looking like that in game 1. TCU played the perfect game for Colorado. Defensively, I understand you run a 3-3-5. That doesn't mean you only have to rush 3 players every single down. I did not understand rushing 3 against an offensive line that is fool's gold. If you know what you're watching, you know what I'm talking about with this offensive line. Okay, they blocked fairly decent, but it's fool's gold. And you're gonna see maybe when they play some more multiple fronts and teams that I don't know, because put it like this: anytime TCU actually brought more than 3, 4 or more, Shedeur was in chaos back there. I'm telling you right now. That O-line was fool's gold if you were just judging what you saw. Hell, you rush three players the whole game, that's what you're going to get, right? TCU only rushed 3 players. Anytime they did bring numbers, they got home or disrupted it. Secondary was absolutely trash. What else? Think about TCU. Again, I was not a fan of the quarterback play. I didn't think he played particularly well. But I didn't think he played particularly well. Trying to think. What else did TCU not do? What am I missing? They just didn't play to their strengths, man. They didn't run the ball effectively. They didn't and again, man, playing that scheme, you didn't blitz. They just allow Colorado. They allow Shedeur to sit back there and literally do whatever it is they want it to do. Anytime you let a guy just sit in the back and just dink and dunk you, which is what Shedeur started off doing, right? So he basically just was managing the game, giving what the defense gave him. Then they would take their shots. There's a couple passes that Travis, if he catches, man, Shedeur might have thrown for 600 yards. That's how terrible TCU was. Let me get to, hold on. Read many broken tackles. Yeah, they couldn't tackle. I don't have a problem with I actually thought TCU's got in more trouble when they tried to play up on the receivers because they couldn't cover them. But again, it's not the cushion that was the issue. It's the fact that you didn't bring any pressure. So you're going to pay 10 yards off. Okay, that's fine. Well, you might want to try to disrupt the timing here. You can't play 10 yards off and then only rush 3. Didn't make sense. So nothing TCU, for a team that made the national championship, number 17 in the country, all that stuff, man, they just absolutely played like they were the team with 60 new players. Kendall Brown should be fired for that performance, and that's just that. Colorado does play Nebraska next week. Interesting game. Nebraska, they lost to Minnesota the other day. So that is interesting. I don't know. Nebraska might want to start Chuba Purdy, y'all. I don't know if they should be starting Jeff Sims anymore. I don't know if they should start Jeff Sims. That's crazy that Nebraska actually has, I mean, technically they only have one former Florida State quarterback, but they do have. Jeff Sims was committed to us, as y'all know. But Jeff Sims is a turnover machine at this point. If I was Matt Rule, I would go with, I don't know who else is on that roster, but I would go with Purdy. But we'll see what happens with them, man. Yeah, Colorado probably is going to give Nebraska the business. Just another rebuild year for them. OSU, yeah. Ohio State didn't look good. And saying says, I see why Mike Norvell didn't keep Jeff Sims. Jeff Sims sucks. Jeff Sims been in college for 6 years and still can't read a defense. If I was Matt Rule, I wouldn't have taken the Nebraska. I think Matt Rule's a good fit, actually, for Nebraska. As you can see, how Baylor has completely regressed without Matt Rule. Dave Aranda lost to Texas State today. That was not a good L for Baylor today, losing to a Texas State team. I actually think Rule is a good fit. He's just going to have to get his guys. And Sims is not his guy. And it's going to be a rebuild there for sure. It's going to be a big-time rebuild for Matt Rule in Nebraska. I'm interested to see what Ohio State does at quarterback, because I don't know, man. They didn't look good today. Yes, we know the Gators suck. That's not even a conversation. The Gators are absolutely god-awful. They have to give Rule... Rule's going to need time to turn it around. That's fine. The fit is fine. Nebraska is just Nebraska at this point. Dead end. Well, I mean, it depends on what you're asking for. I mean, if you're asking for Nebraska to be like they were in the 90s again, probably not. Can Nebraska be like Iowa is nowadays? I mean, I think so. Big Ten is terrible football. Just got a lot of money. Ohio State can't throw the ball. Big Ten is terrible football. Dang, insane. You just be saying stuff. David Aranda for DC. You think Shadur and Hunter getting drafted this year? Hunter, no. As well as Hunter look, don't get me wrong. He's still very skinny, and it's going to be a process with Hunter. I think even Shadur's going to need. Listen, everybody's not going to play like TCU played them boys today. Okay, everybody's not going to sit back, rush 3, drop 8, and play 10 yards off and say, hey, just dink and dunk us and take your shots when you can't. Like, people are going to dial up pressure on that offensive line and actually make them have to communicate and block. You feel me? So, no, everybody's not going to play Colorado like TCU played them. So, I wouldn't. Great win, great debut. They're going to have to be consistent with it, right? And I don't know. Plus Hunter isn't draft eligible. That's a good point. He's a true sophomore. I seen the receiver from UNC only had to sit out this game. Well, that's not completely true, but he did have to sit out this game. I think they're reviewing his case later on in the week. He has a unique situation. Here's the problem with Darrell Jackson, man. I told y'all this before, and people just kind of dismissed it, and it looks like the truth is kind of Daryl Jackson didn't do himself any favors, man, with the whole Joshua Farmer fiasco. Didn't do himself any favor. You don't claim that you're transferring to a school because of a family member, and then a month after you transfer in, or whatever it was, you threatening the school saying you're going to leave with your boy if they don't figure it out. It's not a good look, right? I said that when it happened. Like, that's not a good look. And when people kept saying, well, why has he got his waiver? I kept telling people, like, it's not a good look, man. Conspiracy theory maybe, but it's just not a good look. And I'm the NCAA, and I saw the way he acted. I think the UNC kid might get approved because his situation is unique. His story is unique. His original team canceled a football season, which means his initial transfer should have never been held against him. In my opinion, when he initially transferred to Kent State, he should have never been held against him. So technically, him transferring this second time to UNC should be his first transfer, in my opinion. When your team cancels a season, you shouldn't be credited with a transfer, in my opinion. So there's just a different situation between those two. I want Jackson's situation to get figured out, but we can't. I don't think you can look at it and say because the UNC player might get approved at Jacksonville. I don't think those two coincide. Jeff, appreciate that. Jeff says, hold on. I don't think so, but there's people out there saying that LSU's defensive line will be. Okay, well, we're about to see. Appreciate the $5, though. Compare Colorado to the rest of the Florida teams tied with UCF for second behind us. Colorado would beat the brakes off of Florida. Colorado and Miami would actually be an interesting game because I think Miami has a pass rush that could give Colorado fits and obviously could match up athletically. I don't know. I wouldn't go that far yet. Gotta see more from Colorado, right? No, I don't think Miami looked great against Miami of Ohio. But they'd be all right. Nebraska ain't trying to hear rebuild. They rebuild it. Well, hey, I don't care what they're trying to hear. The reason why Colorado won is because TCU didn't have any film on them. Well, that ain't the reason why TCU won. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say. There's plenty of film on Dion Sanders. There's plenty of film on. I mean, look, man, everybody on that team played at another school and transferred in. The film ain't the reason why they lost. The film's not the reason why they lost. How did Micah? Hold on, man. The chat keep jumping on me, y'all. Florida stinks. So Warren Thompson must be a grad transfer. FSU, Arkansas. Yeah, I think Warren Thompson is a grad transfer. What's up with the ACC expansion? We adding 3 West Coast teams. That's what's up with it. I don't know. It don't mean nothing to me. Polk, you think Napier is the coach at Florida in 2025? It ain't looking that way. It ain't looking that way. Just beat LSU so I can retain my leadership of the Knowles bandwagon. Look, Marco, you're lucky you ended up pulling it off against. Who did Louisville play? I watched that game too, and I don't remember who y'all played, but I know y'all pulled it off at the end there. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech didn't look half bad. At least for a quarter, actually looked really good, and then I don't know what happened with them. Yeah, Michael Pittman had a drop. What's going on, Kenny? Yeah, Georgia Tech. So, what's up, Ben? And that basically leaves us what? We tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big main event of the weekend. Um, UNC. I thought UNC looked good. The defense looks like it's much improved from last year. Uh, Defensive line, man, was getting home. The defense looked improved, man. I was surprised a little bit by that North Carolina defense. I was surprised. And Drake May don't really have any weapons, man. That's to me why I think Drake May is. Me personally, I think Drake May is QB1 in this upcoming draft. He ain't got no weapons. He don't have any weapons, and he's out there making plays. Kind of similar to last year, man. Not Colorado, but North Carolina is flat out Drake May or bust. So, Caleb Williams, man, he makes some crazy passes too, but he's got a lot of talent on that team. Polk, come on. Canes ran for 250, passed for 250. Ohio scored 3 points. I didn't say anything, but did I say anything? Shields just be trying to come in here start stuff. Did I say anything bad about Miami? I said Miami would beat Colorado. I said Colorado would beat Florida, but I said Miami would beat Colorado. I didn't say anything bad about Miami. I said nothing bad about them. All I said was, it's not like y'all destroyed Miami of Ohio, but y'all did what y'all was supposed to do against an inferior opponent. UNC they had 9 sacks in one game. I think that's going to be a bad deal for Beamer. Beamer's a guy who's shown that he can recruit a little bit, but I don't know, man. His in-game coaching doesn't seem to be up to par. In Orlando with the team, these guys are really confident. The entire team is really relaxed. Wish I was in Orlando. Florida needs to be patient with Napier. I'll lock it up. Texas A&M got themselves a good QB. Yeah, I saw that, man. The Fighting Jimbos look fairly good. Good to hear the team is relaxed. Hold on. What's going on? Pac-12 is stacked. Man, I think I think all of college football is stacked with quarterbacks. Like I said, man, you saw Drake May tonight. You saw Caleb Williams, Shadur Sanders, Penix. Of course, you got guys like Bo Nix. I think Oregon put up 80 points today. We ain't even seen Jordan Travis play or Jaden Daniels play. Who am I missing, man? I'm probably missing some guys. This is a crazy kind of quarterback class we might have. You say, I don't know about what? You said, I don't know about that, Polk. What do you not know about? Gainer looked good for UNC tonight. Hold on. Dang, chat keep jumping. I hate this app. I can't wait to get home. Can't understand why we didn't know how to use him when he was here with us. Look, let's just be happy for Gainer, bro. They tried using Gainer in certain different ways to fit what our scheme was. Again, Gainer he's an edge rusher, right? You know what the problem is? Look at what Florida State's edge rushers look like, and look what Gainer looks like. Jermaine Johnson, Jarrett Verse, Pat Payton. You're talking about 6'4", 6'5", and up. Those are our type of defensive ends. You're talking about 240 and up. Gainer's not that, right? We wanted Gainer more as a backer. That ain't his game. So just be happy for Gainer. Don't worry about how we couldn't or couldn't use him. We good over here. Be happy for Gainer. He good over there, but we good over here. We absolutely good over here. Beamer in year 3, right? I think he's in year 3. Yeah, I think he is in year 3. A&M will give Miami the business. I mean, if they play like they play tonight, and granted, I think they played New Mexico or something like that. Y'all got to realize, remember, I don't have my computer on me, so everything's just coming off the top of the dome. But, you take a little bit of that with a grain of salt with Texas A&M. But, yeah, Miami has to play a better game than they played against Miami of Ohio or Texas A&M. That could be an interesting game. Hey, y'all see Jimbo without a play sheet? I was shocked. Hey. You didn't bring in Petrino in there for nothing. Penix at Washington. Damn, chat keeps jumping. Y'all stop talking too much. Y'all talking too much. I can't even find what I was about to read. Oh, well. We'll skip that comment. Sorry. Polk, what score do you predict for tomorrow night's game? I'll get to that, John. We have to hold Texas A&M QB. Don't crown him yet. Oh, ain't nobody. We have to hold with Texas A&M QB. I ain't crowning him yet. I'm just saying, that's the best QB play Jimbo's had in a while. Petrino was definitely calling plays. I was at 38-24. The closer the kickoff, the more I think we score 40. That's why I said give me a minute on that, Briley, because appreciate that. Hit the like button for me. A gainer is a 3-4 backer. Oh, yes, we are definitely good. I was just saying. UFO lines look lost. Awful. Penix at Washington is the 3rd drafted quarterback. You think so? You think it's QB3? I'm not saying I disagree. I just might need to. The problem with Penix is he stays constantly injured. I don't know. Polk, what are your thoughts on Dion post-game press conference? That's Dion. Listen, guys. I said this before. When Dion made the comments about not being a Knoll or whatever, the man knows what he's saying. The man's been in the media for hell as long as he played. How long did Dion play football? From the 80s to the early 2000s. The man's been in the media just as long. The man's media savvy, media trained, well trained. There's nothing he says that he doesn't know what he's saying that's gonna get the attention. I don't think anything of it because I know Dion's motives and game plan. He's been masterful at it, and he will continue to be. The key for Dion is Colorado looked actually like a football team today, and that he can say what he wants. He's going to be able to say what he wants to say if Colorado continues to play like that. He's gonna be able to talk how he wants to talk. Me personally, it didn't bother me. Didn't bother me. And he can say what he wants to say because a lot of people, including myself, doubted him all offseason. Doubted him. Flat out said this thing was going to look ugly. So, Dion can say what he wants to say. What's up, Kings A? Texas look a little slow to me. A lot of good teams look slow to start the season. Pope, you think Aaron Hesters gets playing time this year? No. I mean, I want to, but I don't see it. Unless we get some injuries. But I don't see it. 89 to 2000. There you go. So, Deloach will spy Daniels. Imagine if Dion coached at FSU. There's no need to. We got our guy. We got our guy, bro. That's not. Dion's doing Dion things over there at Colorado. We doing our thing here. We got our guy. I don't like to do this revisionist history stuff. I've seen a lot of that. Man, Florida State was dumb. Like, people sound like Florida State was dumb because they didn't hire Dion. Last time I checked, we number 8 in the country to start the season off. Primetime matchup with number 5. Got our own Heisman contending quarterback. Got our own potential top 10 pick at defensive end. I don't understand what we're talking about. We good over here, y'all. We are good over here, I promise. You think the Buffs can maintain this success? I don't know. And I've already talked about it at the beginning of the video. If y'all want to go back and check it out, I broke it broke it down about TCU and what TCU did and didn't do. TCU played a terrible game. Absolutely god-awful game. Terrible game. TCU should be embarrassed. Not because they lost to Colorado. TCU should be embarrassed for playing the way they played. Made for the Ville, my man in the building with the $10 dono. Appreciate that, man. As you see, I'm still out here, but I should be coming home soon. But he says, happy hunting, go get LSU. Oh, we gonna get that. We gonna get that for sure. Oregon played Bishop Sycamore. Dion acting like Bowden didn't make him. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Dion's talent is what made Dion Dion. You can say Bowden gave him the opportunity or whatever. But it is what it is. Mickey Andrews also has a say in Dion. But, you know, at the end of the day, Dion was the one on the field doing what he was doing. Now that you've seen a game, does Colorado make a bowl game? That's an interesting question because TCU was kind of being counted as a loss. So now you got to look at this. You got to kind of relook at the schedule. Like, do I think they can beat USC? No. But USC's off defense continues to look good. As long as Lincoln Riley is your coach, you'll have a good offense and you'll have a defense that looks like a bunch of 8th graders are out there, okay? Colorado and USC might be a 55 to 58 game or something stupid like that. Like, I think Colorado's going to be in a few shootouts. It's going to be interesting, and that's mainly because they play in the Pac-12. And there's not a bunch of defenses that are going to put the pressure on Colorado that I think needs to be put on them. Utah is probably the one that I'm like, if you want to talk about Colorado kind of getting exposed, wait till they play the Utah. Because Utah's going to have the front to do what they want to do in that game and dictate the pace of that game. The teams that decide to dictate the pace, which TCU should have done, when TCU was averaging 10 yards per carry, and they should have said, you know what, we're just going to dictate the pace of this game and run the ball down their throat instead of getting into the red zone twice and throwing picks. TCU would have done that. TCU would have won. So the team that decides to do that against Colorado will be successful because their defense is porous. And that's being kind. Colorado's defense is god-awful as well. So 2 red zone turnovers. What you think about Kelly's comment? I don't know what Kelly said, but feel free to share it. No shade, but really, do y'all guys think Travis Hunter can play over 100? I already spoke on that panel, but I do not. Again, Travis is that guy. He is that guy. But 100 snaps a game, they're gonna need to tone that down. They're gonna need to tone that down. Can we stop this Dion versus FSU? Dion versus Mike. Watch tomorrow if we lose. I know. Which is why I'm trying to talk. I already know, bro. I already know. If we lose tomorrow against the top, imagine that. If Florida State loses against the top 5 team in the country tomorrow, the conversation is going to be all about Dion. Watch. Dion was good wherever he went, but being at FSU and playing against Texas, it's only one game for Colorado, and like you said, Polk, TCU custom-made that game for the Buffs. Good for national TV, a better defense. I don't think they look that good. Against teams like Miami, made them bigger. Now they're going to beat the heck out us. I don't know what Black Shear's talking about, but take that Noel off the end of your name. Who's Colorado OC? I don't know, but he's going to have a head coaching job soon. Who are the starting corners for tomorrow? Oh, that's Fentrell and that's Ronaldo. That's Fentrell and that's Ronaldo. Kelly said we're gonna beat the heck out of FSU. Oh, well, that's what Brian Kelly's supposed to say, y'all. Look, what's he supposed to say? Florida State's gonna come into Orlando and monkey stomp us? No, that's what Kelly's supposed to say. I don't got a problem with. Look, I don't know, man. We live in a day and age where everybody's so soft. I don't got a problem with trash talk. My thing with trash talk is you just got to back it up, because when you don't back it up, then people are allowed to say what they want to say. I don't have a problem with Brian Kelly say they're going to beat the heck out of us. Good luck. That's just the way I look at it. Good luck. Good luck. Because Brian Kelly ain't got to get on that field and cover Keon Coleman or Johnny Wilson or try to tackle Trey Benson or contain Jordan Travis or block Jared Verse. He ain't got to do none of that. So long as your team prepared, Kelly, say what you got to say. Good luck, though. Good luck. How y'all feel about the clock continuing to run after every first down? It grew on me. Honestly, if you want to be honest, I don't feel the difference. I do feel games are a tad shorter, but honestly, I don't think it affects the game at all. And I would say, I don't mind it, because I don't really feel a difference. Remember what AR said when we beat FSU. Remember when AR said Remember when I think he's trying to say AR said they would beat Florida State last year, right? That's what it is. What it is. AZ will get a pick tomorrow to bet on it. I would love to see it, bro. I think I want to see if we can force Daniels into a couple of them. If we want to talk about that game, we talked enough about Colorado and TCU. Again, shout out to Dion Sanders. He went out there and did his thing. It made a lot of people quiet. With that said, Florida State versus LSU. Look, y'all, the time is upon us. The game is upon us. I'm ecstatic. I'm ready. Team, I think, is ready. Orlando's ready. The more I think about this game, y'all can call me crazy. And I said this months ago. Y'all can call me crazy, though. I think we might put it on LSU. I know, I'm biased, I'm crazy, I don't know what I'm talking about. I know. But I don't know, man. I did when I did the video, I did the live stream earlier on this week. I told y'all about the matchups, man. If that Florida State wins a majority of these matchups. They win a majority of these matchups, man. And the ones they don't win are basically even. And I was being nice with some of those. Like, I called Jordan Travis and Jane Daniels a push. I said it was even though I think Jordan Travis is the better quarterback. But I said, you know what, that's even. But Florida State's got the better running back room, the better receiver room. I said the O-line, we'll call that even. I think LSU maybe have some better high-end talent. Like guys that might go in the first round, or a guy that might go in the first round. And I don't know if we have that on our O-line, but what we do have in our favor that LSU doesn't is that our group is veteran. Ain't no sophomores or freshmen on this group. Everybody's a junior, redshirt junior, and up. So you're talking about a lot of veterans, a lot of grown men playing football for a lot of years. So as far as I'm concerned, that O-line's even. Tight end room, we got the advantage there. Defensive line, we got the advantage there. I'll probably give them, they have the better talent at linebacker, the better individual talent. Now, they have this Omar Spates guy who played at Oregon State, and Oregon State had a good defense last year. But, again, that's an Oregon State guy transferring into LSU. I think Perkins is the better player out of all the backers. He's the best linebacker that will be on the field tomorrow. But that doesn't mean that they have the better unit. But if you want me to give the edge, maybe I give the edge to LSU there. And then we got the edge in the secondary. Y'all got to tell me where I'm lying. Again, it's one thing to be biased. It's one thing, I'm obviously a Florida State fan. Duh. But tell me where I'm lying. Tell me where I'm feeding y'all a bunch of BS. Because I don't see it. I know, of course, John Shields would say I'm crazy, but John Shields won't rebuttal with anything, with no valid rebuttal. He'll just, be a hater to be a hater, right? So a young O-line has the edge over a veteran O-line? Oh, you said we have the edge at O-line. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I said. My bad. I misread you. We got too many weapons on offense. LSU got some talent. Of course they got talent. No one ever said they didn't have talent. No one ever said they didn't have talent. Casey Roddick scares me. I don't think he can block. Well, Ray, your offensive line and offensive coordinator thinks he can block, or he wouldn't be starting. So I don't know why you don't think he can block. Because Alex Atkins thinks he can block. And has Alex Atkins led you astray yet on the offensive line? Please, has he? Tell me he has or hasn't. Because I haven't seen it. I don't know why Casey Roddick would scare you. It doesn't make sense. It's another guy that's been playing college football for 5-6 years. Grown man. Makes no sense to me. But I know Florida State fans, we still are in that weird, some of the Florida State fans, man, are still in that weird zone where we don't know. We don't want to get too confident, so we got to make up things to we got to make up ghosts. We got to make up issues that don't even exist. Casey Roddick is fine. One of the top 2 corners is Chestnut. We saw that Johnny did against him last year when he played for Cuse. And Johnny isn't our best receiver anymore. $5 from Antoine. He says, I got money. We put it on LSU. I'm going to learn it right now. About to turn up. If you want to talk about bias, then there's some SEC bias going into this game. Of course there is. Perkins is good, but he can't be everywhere. Exactly. He said, you said call me crazy, so I did. Appreciate that, John. I got another $5 from Twan. He says, I got money. Hold on. I got money. We put it on LSU. I'm going to learn it right now. About to turn up. Oh. Did you mean to comment that twice? Who is the better coaching staff? That will determine a lot. Great question. I talked about coaching as well. Great question. I don't know, man. I said it. I'm again, me being biased. But what are we talking about? When the talent level's been even or more comparable, Mike Norvell has been out coaching. Maybe out coaching is a strong word, but he's held his own against Brian Kelly, right? LSU better in the trenches. Based on what? John, we just talked about this. Based on what? Was LSU better in the trenches last year? When they couldn't block our defensive line and couldn't get a sack on our quarterback. Come on, man. You can't just say stuff, John. You got to come with actual facts. Antoine with the double up. You sure you ain't drinking already? He can block. That was the talk about Roddick. He couldn't snap the ball. He was originally brought in here to challenge Maurice Smith for center. Come to find out the man can't snap, so they put him at guard. It's set up perfect for us to win it all. Go watch A&M game. They ran at Perkins. Turntine couldn't block. Turntine couldn't block, but he started Turntine struggled, but he started. Why? Because Bless Harris got hurt. If Bless Harris isn't hurt, Ray, Turntine doesn't start. It's common knowledge. And then everything you had behind them were young. Julian Armello is a true freshman. Dontre Richardson, true freshman. Jalen Early was a true freshman. Turntine was brought in there for that exact reason. If we faced an injury, we had a veteran guy who could play. Turntine definitely struggled, but to say he couldn't block, the numbers speak differently. Was he the greatest tackle? Absolutely not. But he didn't start because he was the best option. He started because Bless Harris got hurt. We just wanted to make it interesting. Norvell got hell no, this joint tripping. Oh, you didn't try to send $5? I can give you a refund, bro. Or I can give you $5 back, man. Norvell got a couple trick plays up his sleeve. if we're doing more with less in the mark of a good coach, Mike is a better coach. And that's kind of what I kind of base it off too, Briley. 2021. The 2021 team wasn't great. We know 2021 team wasn't great. That's Jacksonville State. That's 0-4. That's a 5-7 season. We know 2021 wasn't great, and we weren't great. Took Notre Dame to the wire. Once the talent level became comparable in 2022, we did what? We beat LSU. And now this year, we'll see what happens again. LSU OC coached against Fuller. Cincinnati. 89% of the rushing yards came from QB1. The man ran for 114 yards, I think it was, last year. And their top running back only ran for like 23 yards. So, yes. You had Washington who could play right tackle. And Washington started some games, Ray Fitty. You're not making your case with this Casey Roddick take, trying to justify Jazz Turrentine. Darius Washington played a ton of snaps last year and started some games. Appreciate you, Twan. But, yeah. Casey Roddick could be fine. Absolutely fine. Chip Kelly in the dog fight with Coastal Carolina. Is he? Is UCLA struggling right now? No cap. I'm with you. I think we can smack them tomorrow. So let's talk about that. Like, for me, I originally said, I said something along the lines of like 38-21 or 38-24. And I think LSU don't score no more than that. But I think Florida State might go in the 40s. And I'm leaning more to like a 41-24 or 45-24 type game. I don't know. And again, just call me crazy. I might be absolutely insane. Hit the like button. And call me crazy, but I don't know, man. The more I think about it, that's true, too, from Briley. Let's say Roddick sucks. Keandre Jones, Darius Washington. You could throw Byers inside and move Blessed. Like, a bunch of options. Again, not worried about Casey Roddick, but in the off chance he sucks, we'll have it figured out. But again, man, call me crazy. I got a feeling, and I know every year is different, man. But I don't know, man. I got a feeling. I don't see, especially with the missing Mason Smith again, they couldn't really generate a pass rush on us last year. I have a feeling that's the same. But the problem is, for LSU, if you can't generate a pass rush this year, we're even better at receiver. That's the problem. I think their secondary is worse than it was last year. I think the problem with LSU is I don't think they can cover us. If they can't get to Travis, I think they're in trouble. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to get to Jordan Travis. I'm really not sure they're going to be able to get to Jordan Travis. And that's kind of where my take is. I don't know what LSU has added offensively to make me worry. And I know they've added a lot defensively. And yet I'm still, I'm just not, I don't know, man. I don't know. They got to play, hold on. Chat jumped on me. I'm doing it more or less. Oh, no, read that one. Chip Kelly and the dog. Okay, read that one. They got to play too deep, and we got to run their ass right out to cover 2. It might be 14 points. I'll be interested to see, because we didn't really run a lot on them last year. I'll be interested to see if that becomes, like, a lot of things. And that's the thing about this game. It's like, okay, last year, we knew tight end was a weakness on this offense. So maybe a lot of the stuff that LSU was giving up over the middle, we couldn't take advantage of. But now, all of a sudden, you're talking about LSU has to cover all three levels, where they didn't have to do that before. Middle of the field, obviously, deep, flats. Like, can they do that? And if they gonna like, what if you're LSU's defensive coordinator, are you game planning on stopping the run? Is that the plan? I guess that's my. Let's ask that question. If you're LSU's defensive coordinator, and in this game, what is your key? What are your keys? What are you saying? Okay, if they're gonna beat us, they're gonna have to beat us like this. Is it? Well, we're not gonna let Trey Benson just run on us. Makes sense. Usually, most defensive coordinators want to take away the run first and foremost. But LSU's not comfortable on the back end. I know they're not comfortable on the back end because you go listen to some of these LSU guys who cover the team will tell you they don't feel too good about that secondary. It's Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson and Jaheim Bell and Kyle Morlock and Winston Wright and Dustin. Is that the team you want to say, okay, we're just going to match up man-to-man across the board because we're going to sell out for the run? Yeah, I'm not so sure. Let's say, okay, they know their secondary's cheeks. So now they're going to drop back in a soft zone. They're going to try to let FSU dink and dunk, and they're not going to try to give up the big play, man. They're going to try to limit the big play, cover 3, 2-man deep type stuff. So without any backer help, are you going to be able to stop Trey Benson in the running game? If that's the case, how much, if you're Mike Norvell, if you see that look, how much read option do you start calling? How much RPO do you start calling when you see those looks? Jordan Travis could have his own 100-yard game if that's the look you're going to give. There's no answer, bro. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make. Is there no answer? I honestly don't believe there's a good answer for LSU when it comes to trying to pick your poison here. I really don't. That's why I think Florida State could get that. We could win 14 by 14 plus. And I'm not even playing. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know how you pick your poison here. Whereas if I'm on the opposite side, offensively, man, they're kind of still the same team they were last year. Jaden Daniels, no real running backs that put any fear in your heart, and a couple, potentially good receivers. But again, we heard that last year how great the receivers were. They are Jaden Daniels or bust on offense. Because if you rattling him, the receivers ain't getting the ball. And again, there's not a running back that I really fear on this team. And I know people like the tight end, your boy. Who's the tight end? Who's his dad? Dude that played for the Dolphins and coaches at Miami right now. That guy. Taylor. I know people like his son at tight end, but again, bro, I don't know. Again, just call me crazy. I know, I'm tripping. If we slaps the inside zone, then it's going to be a long night. We're going to pass until they go too high. And then, man, chat keep jumping. Turnovers will be FSU's downfall in that game, giving LSU short fields. What is that? Isaiah said something, but I keep losing. Could be costly. Well, as long as we don't fumble the ball, I'm not worried about turnovers. Who I got starting at right tackle? Well, according to the depth chart, Byers. Now, it does say Harris or. So it depends on, do you think it's really an or Jay just doing that to appease somebody? I would start Harris, but we'll see. LSU going to have to put 2 linebackers in coverage when we run tempo with 12 personnel. They shut the corner down. They shut the counter down last year. Good thing we can run inside. God dog it. Good thing we can run inside something. Because the chat jumped on me again. Okay, well, we'll just have to forget that comment. Sorry about that, Briley. Our QB1 has gotten better throwing on the run, too. Our pass, rush, secondary set the tone. They might try our backers in coverage. They ain't going to be able to play too high all day and stop our running backs and design quarterback runs. Yeah, they got to play cover 2 or 4-man. We got too many flankers. When the safety's back, we go, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you know, I don't know. I don't know. Bold prediction: Dustin Hill will get. Wow, that's a bold prediction. I don't foresee that, but I think Dustin Hill will have a couple quick catches to see if he can get in a groove. I think Dustin Hill will have anywhere from 4 to 5 targets. Jeff with a $20 dono, man. Shout out to Jeff. He says LSU talking. I guess Perkins and is enough to beat Florida State, apparently. I guess he's going to rush the passer, cover our receivers. He's going to spy Travis. We'll see what happens with Perkins, man. Appreciate the $20, Jeff. But, yeah, look, one backer isn't going to be a game changer. It doesn't mean he can't make plays, but one backer isn't going to be able to do all that. And like someone said before, when Texas A&M beat LSU late in the season, they just ran right at him. I'll be interested to see Perkins versus Trey Benson. That's a matchup I would love to see how that plays out. You wanna what's the word? You wanna I can't think of the word, man. It's leaving me. Basically, if you want to take the confidence out of guys like Perkins early, get 220 pounds of Trey Benson running at him and see what happens. See after a quarter of tackling that, how much oomph is still in there, how much pep is in their step in the rest of the game. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I feel really good about the game, Either way, look, man, win, lose, or draw tomorrow, the season is just getting – win or lose, the season just got started. Even if you lose tomorrow, the season ain't even began yet, y'all. Winning puts college football on notice. Losing says, okay, but you still got the rest of these games. You still got the ACC. And if you can win the rest of these games, you'll win the ACC. You're still back in the mix here. So losing isn't a deal breaker. The deal is pretty simple. Travis has to beat Perkins and the safety. Count the box, target a single coverage, or they jumped again. Or check the run if the box is light. Perkins is a dog. You can't deny that. He can't make up for the lack of continuity in the secondary by himself. Perkins is a dog. But again, Perkins, like Jeff said, Perkins can't spy Travis, cover Benson or Toafili and out the backfield, cover Jaheim Bell or Morlock or Douglas at the tight end spot. Oh, and you're not going to put him over John. Like, he can't do everything. Polk, who wows you more tomorrow? Bell or Coleman? I think Coleman's... Appreciate you, John. Good night. I think Coleman is going to have... Let's predict... This is going to be a great segue. Because I'm not going to be on here super late anyway. We've already been on an hour. So we're going to segue to this part. And I say that because I think Coleman's... I want to talk some numbers. I think Coleman's going to have at least 2 touchdowns tomorrow. And I think he's going to have a couple catches where he's just going to flat out, like, put somebody on a poster. Moss, all that good stuff. So I think Jordan Travis... Let's talk some numbers, y'all. I think Jordan Travis... If you look at last year, I think he had 200 plus and 2 touchdowns? He didn't run for that many yards. I think he only ran for like 30 yards. This is going to be so interesting for me tomorrow. I think Jordan Travis will be the player of the game tomorrow. On offense, for sure. And I think because the defense is going to have to play, they're not going to be able to key in on any one thing. I think Travis will have about 250 yards passing. Like, I don't think he'll go for anything crazy north of 300, though he could. But I'm going to predict like 250 passing, 3 touchdowns in the air. And then I'm going to say like 50 plus on the ground, and I think Jordan Travis is going to have like 4 total touchdowns and over 300 total yards. That's what I think. I think Trey Benson can go for, I don't know if he's going to crack the 100 yards, especially if Jordan Travis is getting that 50 plus like I think. But I think Trey Benson is going to go for 60, 70 yards. I already got Jordan Travis, accounting for how many touchdowns did I say? 4 total touchdowns. So that's already 28. So Benson going to have to get 35. So Benson will have a touchdown. Travis will have 4 total. Coleman's going to have 2 of those touchdown receptions. And I'm going to say Toafili gets a touchdown reception. Toafili or one of those tight ends. But I'm going to go with Toafili. And Johnny will have, Coleman will go for 70 to 80 in a couple TDs. Johnny will have about 60 to 70, but I don't think Johnny gets any touchdowns. And then you'll have some other guys, getting their yards here or there. And I think the defense or special teams is also going to give us a touchdown, right? So that's how, when I say I think we can get 40 plus, that's how Jordan Travis with 4 total touchdowns. I think Trey Benson gets another touchdown. That brings you to 35. I think defense and special teams is going to give us one. And I would love for Jaden. I'm hoping we can get a couple turnovers, a few turnovers. I think defense is going to give us one, not on a pick though. I think defense is going to give us one on like a strip sack. I think Verse going in there and getting a strip sack, and maybe somebody like Pat or somebody picking it up and taking it. I think something like that's going to happen. I see a lot of tight end screens tomorrow. Mike hasn't been able to maximize that position. The fact that we can change looks without personnel changes. 11, 12, 22, 23 empty sets. And then it says also something. Tomorrow is the squad's chance to put get out of jail free card in his pocket. That's true too. If you do win this game, you can afford to lose a game, right? So like you said, that's you can afford to. You get out of jail free card if you do win this game tomorrow for sure. I don't think LSU secondary is going to be bad. I think it'll be okay. Just not sure that's enough for this game. 300 yards, Coleman and Johnny combined. Ooh, I don't know. Don't think so. More than 400 yards for Jordan. I think that's a real possibility. We run for less than 125. 4 TDs would be firing a damn shotgun. 4 TDs would be good, but don't forget, Grillmaster. Shadur threw for 4 or 5 TDs and 500 yards. Caleb Williams has thrown for like 5 TDs and 400 yards in his first 2 games. Yes, it'll be a good opening. Penix threw for like 4 touchdowns and 4 or 500 yards. Heisman's going to be a long race this year. But no, that would be a good start for Jordan Travis for sure. I think Travis will have at least 250. I think he'll have maybe 50 rushing. And I think Coleman is going to have at least 2 touchdowns. Wilson 1. No disrespect to Johnny, but Keon will be the guy in the wide receiver room this year. And Jaheim Bell will be a problem. Don't forget Dustin. Nope, not calling for a pick 6, but I am calling for like a strip sack. I really feel like the Clemson game would be a little hiatus, more challenging. I said that. I said that Clemson game is going to be the tougher game of the 2. I still stand by that. But we'll see who has a better game tomorrow, Fisk or Fabo. Well, I'm going to go Fisk. Nothing against Fabo, but Fisk and Fabo are asked to do 2 different things. So, as far as I'm concerned, what Fabo is able to do is going to allow Fisk to be able to do what he's able to do. The difference is what Fisk can do shows up on a stat sheet. What Fabo do doesn't necessarily show up in a stat sheet, but is more important, or as important as what Fisk can do. They went for those numbers against nobodies. 4 TDs against LSU would hit way different. I mean, TCU's not a nobody, bro. I mean, even though I don't think TCU's great, obviously, but I mean, TCU is the number 17 team in the country. And Shadur Sanders threw for 505. Can't say there's nobody, bro. Drake May just played South Carolina. Can't say that's nobody. Penix just played Boise State. Can't say that's nobody. I don't know. I don't know about that. Caleb Williams is the only one that I can say, okay, he hasn't played nobody in his first 2 games. I think Benson's going to have around 70 yards and a touchdown. I think some of those goal line runs that we gave to DJ Lundy last year, I think Shaheem Bell probably can get those now. Total for rushing yards, again, I think Jordan Travis is going to go for 50 plus rushing. Trey Benson will have anywhere from 60 to 70. You know we're going to give Toafili a few carries. I think we'll have, as a total, I think we'll have over 100, maybe less than 150. So in that 100, that I don't know, 120 yard range maybe at the total. Man, if we beat LSU and then turn around and big Clemson, social media and Twitter will go crazy. I think Briley thinks we have 113. It's going to be very interesting, man. That's one of the biggest questions I have for this team, and LSU's going to show it, is just how they're going to call it. Are we still going to be are we a predominantly run team? Are we going to use the pass to set the run, or vice versa? My guess is each game is just going to dictate how we attack. This game, to me, I think you might pass the ball a little bit more. Again, I don't know if Jordan Travis is going to have 300 yards. But if you told me that Florida State decided to drop back and pass the ball a little bit more in this game, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. Before you go, how do you feel about Holmes' gameplay for tomorrow? Keziah Holmes? Going to be interesting to see how he gets involved. Clemson is the toughest game this year. Running against them won't be easy. Jordan and the defense will have to bring their game. It's game day, baby. Will this be ACC refs? I have no idea who the refs will be. No idea, to be honest with you. What else y'all got before I get out of here, y'all? Not going to be on here too much longer. Just want to do a quick recap of this great week 1 of college football, man. I think Travis runs for very little. If Mike dictates the game the way he should and manipulates Perkins and LSU's pass rush gets marked. I'm talking about more design run. I almost think, if you told me that we did more design runs, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's going to be a lot of scrambling. I just think if LSU plays how I think they might play, and what I'm starting to think they might do, I don't think LSU is going to man up across the board initially. I think LSU is going to try to drop back. Maybe even blitz out of the zone and try to give some confusing looks. Well, that's all good and dandy if you think we just going to drop back and throw the ball. But if we start throwing those RPOs, those read options, that negates a lot of that stuff. I think that could be a real weapon for us, honestly. Then we can use that to then set up the conventional run and set up the pass. Because once that starts killing, now you already gotta put a guy on Travis, right? But if he starts gashing you for 10 yards a pop on the read option, then now you really gotta have a guy focused on that. that guy that you got focused on him, yeah, I'm going to sneak that tight end right behind him. So now that read option, where it's just, do I hand it off or do I keep it? Now I'm handing it off, keeping it, or am I popping it to the tight end that just ran behind the guy that's reading me? Do I pop it to the flat, it just, everything opens up. You could see that. I'm telling you, man, you could see that tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to run. I'm going to be very interested to see exactly how we decide to run and set up a lot of stuff. But you could see that. And then if he does that, if he really wants to if he's dictated to stopping that run, if he goes, you know what, I'm loading the box. I'm playing 0 or 1 high, and I'm lining up man to man. Okay. Okay. Go check Jordan Travis's stats against the blitz and all of that. So, okay, you can do that. But now understand that you have put your guys on an island with 6'7" and 6'4" receivers. So, as far as I'm concerned, again, how do you pick your poison if you Brian Kelly? I think they're going to start the game off running a lot of zone and trying to blitz out of the zone. Try to throw a little bit of confusion, try to blitz out of the zone. I think they think we're going to open up the game throwing the ball because the secondary has been so vocal about being a weak link for them. That's the games that I think are going to be played. But it's going to be interesting to see. Never thought BC would. Bro, they lost to Northern Illinois. That was crazy. Do we blitz more or trust? So if our defensive line is who we say they are, the more pressure you can get with 4 down is a bonus. That means you don't have to blitz, because when you blitz, you do what? You leave more openings in the back end. So when the blitz doesn't get home, offenses tend to go for bigger plays. There's no need to blitz. If Verse and Pat and Fisk and Fabo and Farmer and Byron Turner and Gilbert, like if these guys can get pressure on just with 4-man fronts, why do we need to blitz? We don't need to blitz. If Jared Verse is a top 10 pick, we shouldn't be blitzing much unless, you want to mix it up a little bit. Sure, blitz every now and then, but if I can get pressure with my 4 guys, that's all I need. Jordan is going to run for at least 70. I think LSU is going to disguise blitzes with Perkins. They don't trust the back end. Travis is going to burn that game plan. JT only threw 2 interceptions against the blitz last season, and Dangbay says a single spy. So we'll see how they play him. That's going to be the game within the game, is who adjusts to what. The LSU D coordinator, can he adjust to what he sees from us? And can Adam Fuller adjust? I think that's the part of this equation that we're not really thinking about is there's no way, if I'm Brian Kelly, am I going out there with the same game plan that I had last year. So they got to be trying to figure out something different to do with Jaden Daniels and that team, because you can't just drop him back and let him scramble around and play sandlot football, which is essentially what they did last year. And it started to work at the end, but, that's because we started playing conservative defense at the end. And we stopped rushing 4, and we would rush 3 and drop. We played that TCU defense in the last, 7 minutes of the game last year. So that's another good part of the game. Is I gotta think LSU is not just gonna run the same offense that they tried to run last year. If they are, then they're even dumber than I think. So now I'm interested to see what are some of their wrinkles. What wrinkles is LSU gonna bring, and can Adam Fuller adjust? Because I know there's a lot of questions about Adam Fuller, and yes, he's improved. But there's been questions about Fuller and his in-game adjustments and his use of personnel. So we're gonna see. Polk, I bet we take a shot downfield on the first play. Probably, there's a possibility. I think LSU's going to be ready for that. So on the first play, maybe not so much, because I think LSU's. I think if you ask me right now, I think LSU's going to start off with the zone, and they'll go from there and they'll make adjustments as they see fit. So a deep shot down the field on the first play probably is going to be covered fairly well, because I think they'll be expecting that. It's time to go find out if Fuller taking that next step. Adam Fuller has played against LSU's OC before. He was at Cincinnati, and Fuller scares me with the defensive calls. See, Ryan don't really like the D calls, and that's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of people like Ryan who don't like Fuller's defense still, even though Fuller has improved. There's a lot, there's some people feel like there's still a lot to be desired there. It's time for Fuller to kind of make a break. It's time for Fuller to show, this is kind of it, right? You have the talent. You have Fentrell Cypress in the secondary, and Ronaldo Green. You have Kalen DeLoach and Tatum Bethune. You have Jarrett Verse and Pat Payton. So there's not a lot of excuses for Fuller. There's really not any excuse for any coach on this team. That doesn't mean that we're championship or bust, but it does mean that Florida State should be 10-win regular season, right? I don't think we were 9-3 last year in the regular season. I don't think you should be any. I think 9-3 this year would be a bit of a disappointment. Now, is that a bad record? No. Most teams would take 9-3. And honestly, if Florida State was to have back-to-back 9-3 seasons, we're still going in the right direction and should still be able to compete and recruit doing that. But 9-3 would have to be the floor. More likely, I think a lot of people, I'm expecting, I predicted 11-1 regular season. I think we drop Clemson in the regular season and we make up for that in the ACC championship. I know people don't want to hear that, because I know I've preached all off season and last season that this season was all about Clemson. It's all about Clemson. But I think it's a tough task week 4. Death Valley, but we'll see. But I'm thinking of 11-1. Anything worse than that, or anything worse than 9-3, 10-2 would be fine. 11-1, 10-2 might be the most likely one, right? And 9-3 should be the floor. But anything worse than 9-3, and we screwed up somewhere. Coach Kelly will probably try to get JD to pass more. Good. JD throws more than 30 times, and we get to. Yeah, you pass more if you want to. I think Pat is the defensive coordinator in waiting. I don't, but that's fine. I don't know why Surtain, who has never been a defensive coordinator, would now be your D coordinator in waiting. But I know that's another one of those fan theories that was put up there the day the man was hired. People were saying Coach Surtain is the defensive coordinator in waiting. So we beaten Clemson regardless. Don't care where it's at. Can't afford to drop Clemson. We may not see them the second time. Who? I think we'll be fine there. The only team that you have to worry about is Louisville. But, I mean, come on. Louisville just went life and death with Georgia Tech. We can drop a game. I do not believe that we're going to have 2 undefeated teams in the ACC this year. Because even North Carolina, who looked pretty good against South Carolina, I believe North Carolina does play Clemson this year. Or I could be wrong. Not too sure. I know they don't play us. I think they might play Clemson. I know they play Miami. I mean, but then again, North Carolina's whooped Miami for the last couple of years. But we'll see. All Fuller has needed is a long, athletic corners that can play man. This is the best he's had. Let him cook. How you think we'll be using Knowles? Knowles will be playing safety. He'll be playing safety, so he won't be in that nickel situation. He won't be at corner like we've seen him in the past. He'll be probably filling in for Akeem Dent when Akeem Dent needs a breather. But Knowles will be playing safety. FSU versus Colorado playoff, baby. Man, no. Slow down on the Colorado playoff talk. Louisville is probably not beating Miami. Louisville also plays Miami as well. So yeah, man. Knowles has done really well changing safety. Currently first off the bench, but I expect him to take Dent's job this year. Unless Dent reaches that 5-star potential. I don't think he takes Dent's job. I don't think that happens. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. So this was a good little weekend wrap up and the final FSU LSU talk. I know y'all probably getting sick of this format. I'm sick of doing this format. Can't wait till I get home, but I still appreciate you guys for showing up and showing some love and supporting the channel even when it's not up to the usual stuff we usually do. But man, tomorrow's the game, guys. So hit that like button on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in, and get ready. I think what started off for what I thought would be, I don't know. Something about this game just feels off in a good way, though. Like I just have a sneaky feeling that somebody's not as good as they think they are. And I don't think it's the team that wears garnet and gold. And we're gonna find out tomorrow. But I just have this sneaky suspicion that tomorrow somebody's gonna look like that. It's not gonna be too much like last year or nail biter. I just got a feeling, man, that somebody's gonna look like they don't belong on the same field. And again, I don't think it's the guys with the spear on the side of the helmet. So, with all that being said, y'all have a good rest of y'all's night. Holla at y'all tomorrow after the game. If I can't get you after the game, I know. I'll definitely try to do something during halftime, but if I can't get to you guys after the game, I'm going to owe you guys that in a few days after that. But as always, man, it's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Y'all stay classy, Seminoles. We are out here. Go Noles. Y'all get ready for tomorrow. Big game, start of the season. Noles are about to show the world